Hi, so this is my week 12 reflection for UNIV101, and the first question is, what have been your most successful experiences with writing and most challenging? For me, a couple of my most successful experiences have also been my most challenging. I took two AP English classes in junior and senior year of high school, and a lot of times my most challenging essays that I had to write, one time there's a semester long research project, and we had to write a 10-page essay as a result of that, and it had to be written in a manner that I was unfamiliar with. It was AP format, and had to be really an academic research paper type format, which is something I've never really worked with before, but I ended up being really proud of it, and I think it was good, and I got a good grade on it. And then also just some of the essays I did in AP literature that were the most challenging for me. Sometimes those wouldn't be my best ones, sometimes those would be better. I think my most challenging ones in that class were definitely cross-analyzing poetry. It just depended on the poems, honestly, but some of them it was really hard to tell what you should be comparing there, because they were either really similar or really different, and so it was made a little bit difficult. Yeah, those were the most challenging ones. I had an easier time with writing about primary sources or books. Second question is, what have been your most successful experiences with quantitative reasoning and most challenging? Quantitative reasoning, I'm not really sure how much I use that in my day-to-day life, especially because I'm never really considered myself much of a math person. I guess I've had to use it a lot in science classes. So I guess more my science labs, I would say, is my quantitative reasoning experience, in my chemistry lab that I'm in right now. And most successful experiences are just whenever I'm able to kind of figure it out, whatever's being asked of me, and not struggle too much with it. And I guess the most challenging is just, I don't really know what went wrong, but a couple times I've just gotten really skewed data, and I'm ooh, I don't know what went wrong, and that is challenging for me, especially because I can't really figure out what was wrong, and so I don't really know where to go from there. So I would definitely say I'm usually more of a qualitative reasoning person, but there is a lot of quantitative reasoning within my science classes, because I have a lot with my major. I'm not really sure how much I use it in day-to-day life. I think it's more of in academic settings that I use that. And the third question is, what messages have you received about your writing quantitative reasoning abilities, and which of these messages would you like to rewrite? I'm not quite sure what this question's asking. I think it's asking about feedback you've gotten on these abilities. I'd say I've always done really well with writing abilities. English was probably my best class all throughout school. I don't really take any English anymore now in college, but I always did well with that. Except when I was really young, I was actually really behind on English, and then I just kind of fell in love with reading, and that made it so much easier, just because that's kind of just a practice. And then from there on out, that was my best subject. And quantitative reasoning abilities, definitely say I'm a little bit more lacking in, and definitely sometimes I've got in messages or feedback that I was not really using correct logic there, or that the numbers that I was using to perform the quantitative reasoning were off, and then that skewed everything else. And I would like to rewrite that message, and I think I've gotten better with that, just experience and practice. And I'd just like to keep working on that, and can keep working on that with my science classes and my labs, and I'm going to take a math class next semester, and I would like to try to work on that and hopefully reach similar levels of where I think my writing abilities are at.